Nobody really talks about how lonely it gets when you start taking your health seriously. If you have ever felt judged, misunderstood, or even unsupported for trying to change your body and your life, then this video is for you. In December 2024, I hit a wall. I'm 5'7" and at that point I weighed around 165 pounds, but that number itself wasn't even the problem. The problem was that I didn't recognize myself anymore. I was out of breath easily, I felt really weak, and I was what people usually call skinny fat. Physically, I wasn't in a good shape, but mentally I was in an even worse place. I had tried to start over so many times. I tried motivational stuff, I tried pushing harder, I tried doing everything perfectly for a short period of time, and every time life got in the way and I ended up right back where I started, more frustrated than before. At some point I got tired of lying to myself. I decided to give it one last honest shot, but this time I stopped chasing the perfect plan. I stopped trying to do everything at once and instead I focused on what I call the baseline, showing up every day in a simple way, walking daily, doing basic strength work and nothing too extreme, just consistent. Over the next 9 months, I lost around 30 pounds. I went from being able to do 0 pull-ups to doing 10. And I reached a point where walking 10,000 steps felt normal instead of exhausting. But honestly, the weight loss wasn't the biggest transformation. The real change was mental. I started respecting myself again. I trusted myself. And I stopped quitting on myself. For the first time in a long time, I felt disciplined, calm and in control. The truth is, if your mindset is broken, no diet will save you. Before I felt weak, not just physically but also mentally. And now I feel stronger, more stable and more grounded. And also this didn't come from motivation because motivation just fades. Consistency on the other hand doesn't fade and your identity doesn't neither. Here's the part nobody really prepares you for though. When you start changing, not everyone supports you. And in my case, friends and even family told me that I was too skinny, that I should stop losing weight, that I should just bulk. But I knew I wasn't healthy before, and I knew that chasing size without fixing my habits would just take me right back to where I started. When you change, it can make people uncomfortable, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your discipline highlights what they avoid. And that's a lonely place to be, especially when you're just trying to feel healthy, strong and alive. In my opinion, a lot of fitness advice today is toxic. It's obsessed with looking big, with summer bodies, with shortcuts, and very little of it talks about mental health, sustainability, or even longevity. Very little of it talks about being able to move, live, and actually enjoy your life. Looking good for a few months doesn't matter if you hate yourself the rest of the year, and I didn't want that anymore. I wanted a life I could maintain. When I started sharing this journey on YouTube, the comments changed everything for me. I realized there were so many people feeling exactly the same way, tired of starting over, tired of doing it alone, and tired of the ego and the fitness BS. That's why I created the Consistency Tribe, not a challenge, not a transformation contest, just a safe, honest space for real people who want to build health slowly, naturally, and for the long term. If this video feels like it's speaking directly to you, I left a link in the description. There is no pressure, just an open door. And you don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up and you don't have to do it alone anymore. I'll see you soon.